At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. Now you will experience the full power of the dark side.
Welcome, followers of the Dark Side and the Light. I'm your host, John, the real JP3. And I'm joined, as always, by my good friend and fellow co-host, who is a master of the dark side, expert on the occult, and obtainer of rare antiquities and holocrons. Please welcome Dark Lord of the Sith, David!
Well, hello, John.
Hello.
You're doing all right today?
I'm doing good. Why do we have a British accent today?
Because today's Ian McDermott's birthday.
It is. Do you know how old he is today?
He's Sith evil old.
Okay, we can go with that. Yeah, he's actually 74 years old.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, guy does not even look like he's 74 years old.
So, okay, go ahead. No.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, he didn't look like he's
No,
74 years
so
old.
you said that, and it automatically hit me that Danny Trejo, who's in Machete and a few other films, he's 75.
I could see that, though.
I can't see that.
Danny looks old. No offense, Danny, but
He's
Danny
looked
looks
the
old.
same way forever.
No, Danny looks old.
Like, no, like my man, I didn't think he was 75. Like, it blew my mind. Like, I read the article because he saved a child's life on the LA freeway or something. That there was a rollover accident. He helped, he assisted, and he's 75.
It happens. It really does. But, so we're going to get into a conversation a little bit later about John Williams and what he's doing for the Rise of Skywalker. But his brother, Don, where this article comes from and the information comes from, is John Williams is 87 years old.
Yep.
And his brother, Don, was like, you wouldn't know. He'll go and stand up there for 6 hours and conduct an orchestra and his music and knows exactly what is going on at every single point and what it should sound like and what should happen. And he doesn't bat an eye at all. Like, that's crazy. 87 years old, still conducting music, still composing, and still like the best game.
I'm going to be crazy senile by the time I'm 80. Like, crazy senile.
Oh, yeah. I told you I did that 23andMe thing and came back that I have a variant chromosome to have late onset Alzheimer's. A little nervous about that.
Why? Why are you nervous about it?
I don't have Alzheimer's. I don't want to forget everything.
You forget things now.
Yeah, that's different. My brain's just too full.
That, or is it hitting you already?
God, I hope it's not. So I told my parents that. My mom and dad were like, really? Because nobody in our family has Alzheimer's. Like, nobody. And I was like, oh no, I have a weird gene. I'm the milkman's son. My mom just looks at me with like that evil eye.
That's horrible. No, you look too much like your pop to be the mailman's son.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you and your dad have the same face.
I thought my face is a little bit longer.
It's the same face.
Anyway, so
as we digress and talk about faces, episode 95, Johnny. 95. You ready to do this?
I'm ready to do this. Let's go.
So, other than wishing Ian McDermott a happy birthday today, because today is actually his birthday and we're shooting on Sunday, what else are we talking about?
So, we got some news that we want to talk about that's dropped in the Star Wars universe, but as always, before we get to that, we have channelstarwars.com. Mike Mann and Jason are back. They're feeling better. And so we have their Monday segment again. And so we're going to let Mike hit us with some of the galactic times, and then we're going to take a dive into some of that information he provides us and talk about a few other things. So with that, Mike, go ahead and take it away.
Hey! Greetings to all my spiky-headed brothers and sisters on Iridonia. This is your Galactic Times, brought to you by Zabraki Speeder Emporium, the luxury shops of Banals, Mays, and Warrenton, and ChannelStarWars.com. Star Wars news for Star Wars fans by Star Wars fans. More adorable than a pack of Huggle Pups. I'm your host, Mike Mann. Inside Editions announced that we will be getting schooled in our Jedi history by Luke Skywalker himself in the upcoming book, The Secrets of the Jedi, authored by Mark Sumerak. That's right, Dan Brooks from StarWars.com reported on the piece and gave us an exclusive look at a few page layouts of absolutely beautiful illustrations and in-depth analysis on the Jedi Order. One thing to keep in mind, as mentioned by Brooks, is that this isn't the younger, somewhat naive farm boy. This is Jedi Master Luke Skywalker learning us a thing or two. The book comes with a pop-up holocron, a Jedi equipment handbook, and a few other items to make this book interactive and expansive. The full article and a video can be found at StarWars.com. The Secrets of the Jedi will be released November 19th.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Next, we go over to Marvel, who brought us rogues, romance, and rock monsters in Star Wars number 7. In this issue, we see Han and Leia being all Twitter-pated while trying to take down a crime syndicate. Chewie and 3PO fought a rock monster, and Luke finds another that is Force-sensitive. Is it a he or she? Is it an ally or foe? Do they want to go to Tashi Station and pick up some power converters with Warming? To answer these questions and more, make sure you pick up your copy of Star Wars number 70 today.
But I was going into Tashi Station to pick up some power converters.
You can waste time with your friends when your chores are done. Now, come on, get to it.
And lastly, let's talk about good old Annie, Darth Vader. Last month, Hasbro released a vintage-style Darth Vader prototype action figure at San Diego Comic-Con International 2019.
All right, on.
This fella features a different color for each appendage, torso, and helmet, and still features the vinyl cape. Well, this prototype has been spotted on the shelves at Target. That's right, the Darth Vader prototype action figure is available in stores now. Go get you one. Now. And get me one while you're there, too. Also, regarding the Dark Lord, next week, Marvel is releasing the Star Wars Target Vader number 2. In this comic, bounty hunters Dengar and Valance formulate a plan to capture Darth Vader, but instead the hunters become the hunted. If this issue is as great as number 1, it'll be a must-read. Star Wars Target Vader number 2 hits stands on August 14th.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
That's all the time we have this week. Be sure to check us out on all of your social media platforms and give us a like and a follow. Stay tuned as we have a lot of awesome things in the works. For Channel Star Wars, I'm your host, Mike Mann, reminding you, you want to buy me that prototype Darth Vader action figure.
I want to buy you the Darth Vader prototype action figure.
You want to go to Target right now.
I want to go to Target right now.
Move along.
Move along.
And now back to David and John with The Rule of Two, a Star Wars podcast.
Thank you, Mike, for that. I don't know. I always love the way that the interest, how he puts different things and how they write their segments. It's just super funny to me. So we appreciate Mike and Jason providing us the Galactic Times each week, and yeah, just pretty cool. But outside of that, what else? Oh no, not what else. Sorry. Let's move into talk about what's coming out. This was announced as we were shooting last Thursday's episode.
Yep.
And mind you, David, I get a message from David as he sends me the article and says, "Yeah, way to script the news, John."
I didn't say that, John.
You didn't say that, but I can't say what you really said. And so I'm sitting over here like I'm crying, and I'm like, I need to see a counselor because Dave's such a harsh producer, harsh producer, and everything else. And so I said, you know what, I need to breathe a little bit. So then I started like getting on social media, and I was like, when was this thing posted? Literally was posted in the middle of us shooting the episode. So neither one of us would have known.
Either way, John, you're supposed to have that mental connection with the news, just like you're supposed to feel it. Feel it.
Okay. If I knew that, I could tell you how the Rise of Skywalker was going to end, and I could tell you the Mandalorian and everything else. So
don't spoil it for me. Don't tell me.
Anyway, so we're getting another book called Star Wars: The Secrets of the Jedi, written by Mark Sumerak, I think is his name. It's coming out November 19th. The cool thing about this book, and Mike mentioned some of the things, it's going to have lush paintings, interactive features, you're going to have pop-up holocrons, translator cards, Jedi equipment book, and much, much more. And it's going to be told through the eyes of Luke Skywalker.
How do you feel about that, John?
So, I'm kind of, I don't know how to like express this the right way. So I like the idea of the book. I think it's pretty cool. It's going to bring in things from the Old Republic, the Light Force, the Light Force abilities. You're going to have some Jedi Masters and Knights. You're going to have the less Jedi talk. And it's really cool, and I think it's awesome. But I don't know. I think this goes back to our whole conversation, David, of everything that we've gotten so far and everything that there is it's all light side. It's all Jedi. Everything is told from the story of the Jedi. Why can't we have something that says Star Wars, The Secrets of the Sith?
So, calm down a little bit. Because prior to this, they came out with a leather-bound book called Path of the Jedi. Which it was supposed to be almost a textbook that you would get while you're at the Jedi Academy. And it's got little notes and scribbles of Yoda. And it actually passed from Yoda to Dooku, to Qui-Gon, to Obi-Wan, to Anakin, Ahsoka, and then somehow Sidious got a hold of it, and then back to Skywalker. So there's that.
Okay.
But afterwards, they came out with the Book of the Sith, which has the same darn thing. And again, it states on the cover page, each recovered text has its own texture and size. We'll never know what the complete book looked like. These are only pages that remained. From Luke Skywalker himself, which I don't think you can see it. Yeah, there you go. From Luke himself.
There you are.
So, give it time. I guarantee there's going to be a Sith or a dark side user book, maybe written from Snoke's perspective, all the way up into his death, and maybe Kylo inherits it and finds it after the fact, and then you get the dark side user book. But I think the thing I'm most excited about is the fact that this is written from Skywalker's perspective when he's not in the best place of his life. So you're gonna see, okay, hey, happy Luke understanding these Jedi texts and relics, because we know if you played Battlefront, he goes on an adventure. He goes learning and trying to figure out the ways of the past Jedi. Let's hear his thoughts. What is he going to say about Ahsoka? What is he going to say about Obi-Wan, who he didn't really know, but communed through the Force with? What's he going to say about these past Jedi Masters and these other abilities? But I think what gets interesting is what happens when he decides to go into solitude. Does the text change and become more of like an emo Luke, where he's all sad and like, oh, the Jedi need to end, blah, blah, blah? How does that dynamic change from beginning to end? Are we going to see an evolution of the character in that book? That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, this is why we keep David around. He finds ways to link things back when it comes to books and things like that. He also creates all of our artwork that we post on the show and things like that. And and he's the Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook for the Rule of Two, where we don't crash ever. And
sorry, John, it feels right.
Anyway,
you love that movie. It's okay.
I love that movie. So anyway, with that information, kind of how you described about what you're most excited about, the book does promise to be very expansive, incorporating lore from Star Wars: The Clone Wars, as well as Star Wars films and beyond. So the stories that we know, the stories that we've seen, but then I'm sure things that we haven't seen or we haven't heard of, and incorporating so many other Jedi that we probably would want more of their story. I'm now talking myself into reading this book. And like, there's even a tidbit where they say that Luke addresses Force priestesses, which was from the Clone Wars, and the other iconic Jedi, Obi-Wan, not Obi-Wan, sorry, Qui-Gon Jinn. I loved Master and Apprentice. I told you, and we've talked about it, I want more of Qui-Gon. So this book, I think, will give you more of that information about the Jedi that you do not know that much about. The Star Wars show talked about it. That's where it first launched. That's where it first came from. And they give you a ton where they say, like, hey, basically almost every Jedi that we've seen or we've heard of is going to be mentioned in this book in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
I keep going back and forth. I'm gonna read this book. I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna enjoy it. But again, I want to see the levels. I want to see the platitude of Luke Skywalker dealing with some of his emotions, some of his failure, and kind of transcend it and put it on the page. A few of those pages from those little snippets from the Star Wars show that they provided, which, congratulations, Star Wars show, 150 episodes. Well, way to go, guys.
Yeah.
Did you read any of those? Because I did. I read a few of them. I didn't read them all.
I didn't read the pages. I did screenshot them. I posted them on our Facebook page and
How
Instagram
dare
and
you not
Twitter.
read them?
And then I also linked the article for our Facebook page. But I read the article and so what did the pages say? What did you get from the pages?
So the biggest takeaway from the pages that I saw is that he deemed himself a Jedi Master, but felt he never earned the rank of Jedi Master. So for me, that kind of alludes to we're going to see Luke and kind of a progression, and at a certain point, a tipping where he tried to help, old Ben Solo, and then kind of crashed and burned, and then he's kind of regretting some things or remembering that, hey, he doesn't know it all. He's new at this himself. So I think that's what I'm really, really excited for in this book.
Yeah, so one of the statements that StarWars.com makes is it says, for this particular project, I think its unique perspective flows naturally from our beloved narrator, Luke Skywalker. Sure, we all know his epic story by heart, but the Luke who is writing this particular tome is a long way from the optimistic farm boy he was when his journey began. Because of that, he's able to look past the glorified stories of the Jedi of old to find the truth about the Order, no matter how difficult it may be for those reading to hear. So with that in mind, we were able to examine the different aspects of the Jedi Order from an angle that cut through the ancient legends, allowing us to examine why the Jedi needed to exist, why they were destined to end, and whether or not they could or should rise again. Like, holy crap. And the author also makes the comment, the biggest challenge that he had with this book was find a way to bring all the vital information together in a way that feels fresh and new. Because I know you read a ton. You love to read, no matter what it is. You love to read Star Wars. We've talked about. I've started reading the first Thrawn. I'm over halfway through it, but I think you would agree that if you don't find a way to give some information that's fresh and new, and it's the same old story that we've heard over and over again, you're gonna lose readers. You're not gonna get the audience that you would like, and you're not going to keep them just because it's like, okay, well, we've heard this story. Like, give it to me in a different way, and maybe it relates to people in a different way because of that fresh and new perspective.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to see what they come up with. This is taking place before, or this book is coming out before Rise of Skywalker, so obviously it's not going to be the complete saga. There's still some tidbits missing here and there. One of the pages does talk about Ben Solo. One talks about Rey. What makes a standalone? Are they just talking about through Luke's life? And this is where it ends, like the pages are going to be at the end of The Last Jedi. And then any wisdom he bestows, obviously he can't transcribe to paper anymore because he's doesn't have a form. So I get that, but what little tidbits, what little secrets, idiosyncrasies are they going to hide in those pages that we might find out more about when we see Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, and I think that it's you bring up a very valid point about the fact that they're going to release it. It's about a month and a day before the Rise of Skywalker comes out. So obviously they can't put information about the Rise of Skywalker in there because it wouldn't then you're giving away information about the movie, and I don't think JJ would allow that.
No.
But there's so much information and knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, but after like The Force Awakens, we don't see Luke until the very end of the movie. So he's, we know that he left because of the whole Kylo Ren thing, and he felt he failed, but we don't know what he was doing. Yeah, he was in solitude, but does it mean that he wasn't researching? Does it mean he wasn't finding out information or trying to learn more? And that's what we get to see.
I think at that point he just shut himself off on the Force, and he went dark
completely.
I think he just went dark. He didn't want to touch the Force and hear Yoda come into his ear, hear Ben come into his ear. And I'm not talking about Ben Solo. I'm talking about Obi-Wan. I think he just shut himself off because he didn't want to hear the voices. He didn't want to hear someone else critique his failures, if you will. Because if he hadn't cut himself off to the Force, Leia would have found him.
Yes.
I in my mind, Leia, Mary Poppins style would have, found him and just hovered straight to him. So I think he cut himself off, and he didn't do anything other than curse and look at that tree.
It brings up a great point that you mentioned earlier that comes from the pages where he has the title of Master Jedi, but he didn't feel that he achieved that rank. And so that could make perfect sense. He felt that he failed. He felt that he didn't do what he was set out to do, or didn't protect the people that he was supposed to protect. And that's every time we start talking about this and his failure and the whole Ben Solo thing, I just think of Rey's line where Rey always says something where she says to the effect, she's like, the fault was that you thought his decision was already made. Yep. Or his mind was already made up, when in reality it had not been. And I'm just like, that line is so classic. Now I need to watch the movie Last Jedi.
I think you say that every time we won't have an episode. You know that, right?
I'm literally going to go watch it, though, because I have nothing to do after we record tonight. I got some stuff to do around the house. So you know what? I'm going to put it on. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to hear Rey get passionate and yell at Luke.
Ooh.
So did you already pre-order this book, Dave?
I have not. I have not pre-ordered that book, nor have I purchased or bought it on Audible. The Crash of Fight book. I haven't bought that either.
So I feel like because this book is being released so close to Christmas, Dave may just save this as a, hey, this is what I want for Christmas, John.
Happy Christmas.
Pre-order it for me, and then he gets it early, and then he says, okay, well, this was a month before Christmas, so I still need other gifts.
So technically that could be my fake birthday. Because my fake birthday is 11/22. Just throwing that out there. And this book comes out on 11/20.
19th. 11/19.
Okay, even better.
Dave feels he has a lot of fake birthdays, and he says he feels for every fake birthday he reduces a year off his age. And I try to tell him that's not how that works at all, but you know what? I'll let him live his life. Okay. Anything else on Star Wars: The Secrets of the Jedi book? I'm sure we'll get a tad bit more information as we go. Head on over to our Facebook page. You can see the images. You can read the pages. You can click on the link on Facebook and see the actual article from StarWars.com. But you know what? I've talked myself into it. I got a goal now because I need to finish Thrawn and get to the other 2 Thrawn books. Otherwise, I won't allow myself to read this. So
you got plenty of time, bud. Plenty of time.
I know I got plenty of time. I can get it done. I find that if I listen to it as I get ready for work in the morning, and then I listen to it on the way to work, I get through a pretty big chunk of the book when I go through that. So.
Oh, fair enough. What else we got, John A?
All right. So the other thing that I thought was pretty cool, and Dave sent this Twitter I guess, teaser to me, and I was like, "What is this?" He was like, "It's on that thing we talked about," and I'm like, "What thing is that?" And he was like, "It's the thing we talked about. I sent you the article." I'm like, "No, you didn't send me the article." I couldn't find the article, so I went to the Google,
Which I sent him the
and
article. It was in the link to the Star Wars show. So if you click the link and watch the Star Wars show, then you see the article. So technically, I sent you the article.
Anyway,
oh,
Star
my
Wars,
young apprentice.
StarWarsKids.com is getting a new way to tell the Star Wars story. It's called Star Wars Rollout, and it is kind of, I would say it features one of our own droids from The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, but also is kind of a new style of animation. It features BB-8, and it was created by Hideo Itoyonga. Don't know if that was right. He's from Japan. But he basically
we apologize in advance for your name, or not in advance. We apologize for your name. If you want to come on the show and talk about how to properly pronounce your name, as well as the project you're working on, we are more than happy to go ahead and oblige you.
I'm going to tag him in this, by the way.
Do it.
So he created basically this way to tell the Star Wars story to kids, featuring BB-8s, kind of like these ball type droids. So everything you look at, you got Maz Kanata, who has, like, she's in the form of like a BB-8 unit. You got Chewbacca, you got Han Solo, you got Princess Leia, you got Luke Skywalker, you got all of them. And it's just a new way of telling the story. It rolled out on Friday, August 9th, so this past Friday. And the creator essentially said that he did this, and what he loves about it is each time the characters go through a cascade of problems, which is what Star Wars is. You have to find a problem, you have to deal with it. But there's a lesson. There's a lesson to be learned from each one of the shorts that is super cool. And he thinks, you know what, that's pretty cool for kids. And it's a new way of storytelling to the younger generation. You know, we have Galaxies of Adventure, which is a Star Wars YouTube shorts. And so there's just many different ways. And Kathleen Kennedy actually found him or heard about him, met with him, and said, hey, we're going to hire you. I want you to do this. This is really cool. We want to see what you can offer. So I don't know. I haven't seen the first video. I saw like a snippet of it, and it looked pretty cool. But yeah, I think it's just another way to kind of get to the kids and bring them into the Star Wars universe and hold their attention span. Because I think as the generations grow, attention spans become shorter and shorter and shorter.
I think it's fascinating that, for me, the Galaxy of Adventures shorts, I think those are perfect for like 5, maybe 4 to 6. I don't know. I don't have children and things, but I would assume that is perfect for that age group. And then if you get these little rolling things that look like BB-8, to me, that covers your market between 2 and 5. So you're getting Star Wars fans, and you're picking at these different little markets at different points in time. So, okay, hey, once you get into the rolly thing, you're 2 to 4, 2 to 5. Okay, you dig it. Your thought process is expanded a little bit more. Your attention's a little bit more attuned. Okay, then you go to the Galaxy of Adventures. And then you go to Rebels. And then you go to Clone Wars. And then you go to, Resistance. So I think they're really hitting all the different tiers of potential Star Wars fans out there.
Yeah, and so I went to the movies this past weekend, and I think it's interesting. So if you guys don't know this, I'm a huge Stephen King fan. And yes, even though I haven't read the book, we'll hear Dave say it again. But I think it's interesting. That movie is going to be, I think, 7 minutes shorter than Avengers Endgame. Chapter 2 will be 7 minutes shorter than Avengers Endgame.
How excited are you?
I'm super stoked. I saw a trailer on Friday on Hulu, and then I was like, Disney, where you at? Come on, Disney. I think it was like a 30-second less than that snippet. It was one that I had not seen before. And as soon as I saw it finished, I just got chills down my back. And I was like, oh my God, I'm just so excited. I have my ticket. I got it reserved. I'm going to the 8:45 showing. I'm going in this, I don't know, it's AVX. It's with Santico's Entertainment. It's got AVX. It's got reclining chairs. Like, I'm stoked. Like, I'm super happy about this. Dave is being a pal, and the Alamo Draft House in his city is allowing you to purchase these cups that have Pennywise's face in the bottom. It's also got like balloons and his face on the side of the cup. So Dave's being a pal and buying those for me because they're not offering those at the Alamo Draft House in my city. And so I'm super excited. But my whole point about going through all that was movies are getting longer and longer and longer and longer. And people are okay with it. I think the days of the past where movies were an hour and a half long, I don't think we'll see that very often anymore.
No. I think you're going to continue to see it. It just depends on the story. Certain movies don't need to be 2.5 hours, 3 hours long.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying it's going to be more common that we don't have those. Like, come on, think about the new Avatar 2 that's coming in. Like, it's probably going to be at least 2.5 to 3 hours long. I'm almost guessing that's probably what it'd be. The Rise of Skywalker, this is the final movie.
Which they still have not said how long that runtime is.
I think I saw somewhere, and I need to go find the article because I don't know if it was accurate. So I don't know if this is true, guys. This may have just been fiction. That like there's 137 minutes of score in The Rise of Skywalker, and most of the other movies have all been like 80-something minutes. So to think that you have to put 137 minutes of music or composed scores into The Rise of Skywalker, how long is that movie potentially going to be? Now, mind you, you're coming from a studio. You got, Disney, obviously, powerhouse. Marvel's under it. Fox is under it. And you got the Star Wars under it now. Avengers Endgame, Avatar is now under Disney. All of those movies were super long. So, I don't know. We can see. I agree with you. There's probably some stories that won't be longer than an hour and a half. But I just think we're becoming more accepting of the fact of these long movies. And when we were growing up, Dave, it was Titanic and Pearl Harbor. You had to get a second VHS tape. Kids nowadays will never know the stopping of one tape to put in another tape. And just different worlds. We thought those movies were good and they were long. Well, I don't know if you thought those movies were good. I thought they were good.
Did you cry when Jack died in Titanic?
I did not cry. Because then as I got older, it's why we and then you see the memes of there was plenty of room on that door. There was legit plenty of room on that door for him to get on there. But anyway, whatever, James Cameron, whatever.
I'm just going to throw this out there. I think you got more excited talking about it than you have any bit of Star Wars. Just throwing that out there.
We're on a Star Wars show, right?
Yeah, exactly. But still, you have your eyes lit up and you went into body convulsions when talking about it. Just throwing that out there.
It's so just to think about what this young director has done. Chapter 1 was the first movie that he ever did a phenomenal job with it. And everybody asked me, even my girlfriend asked me this weekend, she was like, what is it about that movie? And she said, did you see the original? I said, yes, Dave forced me to watch the original and I thought it was pretty cool. Then when I saw the new one, I was like, holy crap. And I got halfway through the book. That's pretty good if anybody knows how long that book is. I got halfway through it, for John at least. So for me, it's just what you were able to do and the story that you were able to tell. I'm so excited about how they're going to interweave this chapter 2 book or this chapter 2 movie into the story and how it's all going to connect. I'm super excited. This is I could probably go see that movie several times in a weekend.
I have a feeling you are, even more so considering you're coming into my neck of the woods. You're more than likely going to be like, hey Dave, let's go see it. That week when you're down. Just saying.
Is that a problem?
No, I'm just saying. I know that's going to happen. So you're going to see it once, maybe twice with your lady friend. And then I'm gonna go another one or twice. Also, yeah, right there. You look panic stricken.
I'm sorry, like my computer just like blacked out. I was like, what happened?
Did you have some unsavory videos or something pop up that you were like, oh no?
No, I did not. We've been plagued with technical difficulties this episode, guys. That's why I'm like, oh no, please not mine too. Anyway, so that was our It Ramble, even though this is a Star Wars podcast. But yeah, check out those Star Wars Rollout, the new animation series coming to Star Wars Kids.
So how excited would you be if Skarsgård came out in a Star Wars movie, or you just heard he was cast?
I'd be super happy. And then on top of that, you know, I would hope that he would show up to a Star Wars celebration because I get a picture. I almost spent a ton of money to fly to Dallas to get a picture with all the kids from It Chapter 1, and Beverly Marsh, and I forget the actress's name, backed out, and I was like, nope, if not all of them together, I'm not going. And it was hard for me because I debated like up until the day before, and then I went and looked at the site because I was like, I'm going to go buy my tickets. I'm just going to do this. Plastic bomb it. Dave still talks about him regretting not going and getting Dave Duchovny, and I forget her name.
Gillian Anderson.
Yes, going to Chicago and getting, like, for the day, just getting a picture and flying back, and meeting them. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm going to plastic bomb it. I'm going to fly up there for the day, going to do it, going to get the picture, spend like tons of money. And then I looked and she backed out. I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. But I wouldn't doubt that they're not going to do the kids again. And even if the adults go, the cast of the people that are doing the adults,
yeah, get ready to spend at least $1,000.
I'm okay with that.
James McAvoy, Bill Hader, yeah, no, that's a lot of
Skarsgård, like he did. This is like Skarsgård breakout movie, and like his dad's very well known, his brother's very well known, been in a lot of movies. I'm excited. Now it got me thinking about that picture that I wanted for that guy was creating for me.
Oh yeah, that's right. Any update on that?
No, he told me he would reach out to me and let me know, but he said it would take him some time to do it. So I feel like it's been years.
I think you should just do a touch base email, be like, hey, my name's John, don't forget about me.
Oh, he remembers me. I said, hey, how's it going? He's like, oh, I remember you, dude. Yes, I haven't forgotten about you. I'm still working on it. We're getting close, blah, blah, blah. And he was waiting to see about the movie coming out and see what he needed, but I'll shoot him a Facebook Messenger. I'll shoot him a DM.
No, man, you hit him in the DMs. Pervert.
Anyway, so the final thing I wanted us to talk about today. Did you know there's a report, not been confirmed by Disney, but there will be a 4K Star Wars box set coming to Blu-ray in 2020 with all 9 films.
I love it. I need it. I'm gonna pre-order it. Is it gonna be a giant steelbook case? Is it gonna come in like a freaking Sacred Jedi text special edition book case looking thing? I don't know. I want it. What if it comes in the chest that Maz Kanata opened to give the Skywalker lightsaber to Rey? Like, what if that's a packaging? Oh my god.
That'd be pretty cool.
Oh my god.
That'd be pretty cool. Did you see the Avengers steelbook?
For Endgame? No, I haven't.
No, it's all of the Avengers movies in a steelbook case, like $150.
So you bought it?
No, I did not buy it. Although my Avengers Endgame will be here tomorrow, which is interesting because it's not technically supposed to release until Tuesday.
So you're gonna upload the digital copy so I can see it on Tuesday when I'm off. Yeah.
Yes, you should be able to see it Tuesday when you're off.
Dude, I swear, like I cried that whole damn movie. It was ridiculous.
It was a great movie.
It was ridiculous. Like I literally cried the majority of the movie. I was like, oh, Tony's so sad. He's talking about Pepper. He's not gonna see her. And then when it became Fat Thor time, I got happy again.
So yeah, so there's rumors that they're gonna re-release all the movies on Blu-ray. They already have the first complete Star Wars box set that I have that was on Blu-ray. but it looks like they're going to go back and remaster them, all of them, for 4K and Blu-ray, and release them all again.
So does that mean that we might also get the original cuts of the movie?
It does not say anything about that,
So,
but that is
now,
a possibility because Fox.
Exactly, because
Yes.
of Fox. Could we
There
get
is
the
a
original
possibility.
cuts of the movie? Oh, I'm so excited.
Hold on. There is a comment in here. It says fans received a new hope for that prospect during a Hollywood double feature of Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and the 7 Minutes. Thus, the original cut of the 1977 classic film does exist. Hopefully, we'll get a huge and very welcome surprise at D23 with an announcement of its including with the 4K Star Wars box set. Time will tell. So D23 comes up in another 3 weeks, I think. So we could get some more information.
Something like that.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, even the only movies that are currently released in 4K are Solo, a Star Wars story, and The Last Jedi. All the other movies prior to that were not released in 4K, including The Force Awakens. So yeah, this could be. I remember when they re-released all of them on Steelbook. Dave and I went to Best Buy. We bought them. I own the complete box set and Blu-ray. I own them digitally. I own them in Steelbook. Yeah, I own a lot of them.
See, I didn't buy the complete saga on Blu-ray. I never bought that. I was always on the fence.
You had the other ones. Yeah.
But I was always on the fence, and then they're like, "Oh, they're coming out with a new movie." I'm like, I'm not gonna buy it. They're coming out with a super mega Star Wars pack sooner or later, and sure enough, here it comes. But I still like the original cut of A New Hope. Han shoots first. You don't have that horrible Jabba scene that feels completely unnecessary. Empire Strikes Back, I'm completely fine with. I love the little additions, the scenes that they added here, there. It adds to the movie in a good way. Return of the Jedi, not so much because they tweaked the scene where they're in Jabba's palace and the dancers and that weird like little creature Muppet thing singing, and I don't know.
Yes.
That whole scene that they extended, wasn't a fan of it. Obviously, when I was younger, I didn't mind it, but now I'm like, give me the original without it. So, Disney, let's do it. Let's bring the originals home. I need them on my shelf. My shelf will not be complete without it. And I'm excited. I can't wait. Another darn way to buy Star Wars.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, but that's going to be really cool. That's all I had in news today, Dave, but I got some other news.
I've got one tidbit also. So who goes first? Who talks first? You talk first? I talk first?
I talk most of this episode. You talk first.
Okay. On the Book of Face yesterday, I couldn't find the video anymore because I got distracted, but there's a video, and I'm sure it's not any time recent that this was shot, but it shows the rapper T-Pain like get into a fight on the street, and like he's like two dudes are coming at him, and like T-Pain's like, oh man, like he's backing up, and this guy's like filming it. All of a sudden, T-Pain like looks back, and someone throws him a lightsaber, and the two dudes in front of him, they ignite lightsabers, and don't get me wrong, there's no special effects, no nothing, and they just start lightsaber battling in the street. It looked awesome. It's just fun to see other people enjoy Star Wars in that way, because heck, I know, John, if I throw a lightsaber at you in the aisle at freaking any store, we're gonna have at least a 30-second battle until somebody looks at us, and then we're gonna be like, oh, we're adults, sorry, bye.
Yes.
So that just that's just my segue to say, if you're looking for a lightsaber, go look at Ultra Sabers. They're our friends. They have a code. They will save you some cabbage. John, give him the info.
Where's your tidbit? Why don't you give them the info?
Because I'm playing with my pretend lightsaber.
If you go on to ultrasabers.com, pick any lightsaber, you can at checkout enter the coupon code ForceFeels, all one word, all caps, and you will get 10% off from the Rilla 2, a Star Wars podcast. It does not work on any accessories or discounted merchandise. are discounted lightsabers that are already like marked down. But any other lightsaber is yours to choose from. So go and visit our friends at Ultra Sabers. So mine's kind of along the same line.
Oh man, is it T-Pain fighting with another rapper?
No.
Instead of a rap battle, they lightsaber battle?
No.
Dang. Okay, go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We are releasing a new design on tpublic.com.
Ooh.
The new design will launch on Monday, which is when this episode will launch.
Okay.
It is our classic logo, but there is some spin to it. So you will have the classic logo with some lightning on it. And we're working on some other logos or other pictures right now to get posted, but it's been a while since we posted one, so we're going to post this one, and then more will come to follow. However, the first 2 days that the logo is posted, or the new logo is posted, TeePublic usually gives us like a 10, 15, or 20% off. We don't know until we post it, but I don't want to launch it until tomorrow, just because it gives you the full 2 days. So as soon as we post it and we find out the percentage off, we'll let you guys know. And that's off anything that's available through TeePublic with our logo on it. But again, it's only the first 48 hours that it's available. So just head on over to TeePublic, www.tpublic.com, search the Rule of Two Pod, and our designs will come up there. We have our original one, which looks like this, that's behind me, and then we'll have our new one with the lightning, and then we have more to come. And if you guys want to see you want to see something on our logo or want to see a shirt, send it over to Dave. You can reach us at contact@theruleoftwopodcast.com or the Rule of Two ASW podcast @gmail.com, and Dave will take a look at it and see what he can do for you.
That, or you can hit me on the DMs on Instagram, Twitter, DM and Sith Lord, man. That's where I'm at. Just look at the bottom, look at the banner. It's got my info. Hit me up. What up? Talk some Star Wars.
While you're doing that,
we'll make it weird. Don't worry about it.
You might as well go to www.patreon.com. Check out the different tiers that we have available for you. Sign up from there to get some exclusive content. But that's all I have, Dave. Anything else?
I think I'm going to order that tapestry for the new logo because it looks like everything's copacetic. Everything's working on my new casa that I got coming out. Pretty soon, I'm going to have my own Sith Lord man cave podcast room. And I think that that needs to dawn on one of the walls. So I think I'll be picking one up myself.
Sounds good. Anyway, guys, we thank you for tuning in and listening today. We are the Rule of Two, a Star Wars podcast. And as always, may the Force be with you.
Thank you for tuning in today. We are The Rule of Two, a Star Wars podcast. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter @The Rule of Two Pod. Check us out on our website at www.theruleoftwopodcast.com or send us an email via contact@theruleoftwopodcast.com. Check us out on Patreon and TeePublic for exclusive deals and merchandise. And we are in no way affiliated with Disney, Lucasfilms, or the Collider Podcast Rule of Two. And as always, may the Force be with you.